Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Dark Femininity series. And in this episode, I actually want to talk about signs that a woman is insecure in her femininity and how to spot that. Because I have noticed since being on YouTube that there is actually a such thing as feminine privilege. And here in the Exoticals community, we have that because a lot of people keep projecting that onto us. But one of the first signs that somebody is insecure in their femininity is they constantly bring up yours. So they will bring up your femininity or lack thereof, and they will say things like, well, you're not acting feminine, or you don't fit the feminine pretty girl stereotypes, or the type of women you're hanging out with aren't feminine. So women who randomly bring up gender roles, or they randomly bring up who's the most feminine and who's not, this is actually a sign that they're insecure in their femininity because they're trying to project onto you. They want you to question how feminine you are. They want you to feel insecure about your womanhood. They want you to feel like you are not worthy of viewing yourself as kind of like this soft princess. And I've noticed that sometimes if a person naturally puts you on a pedestal or they view you as kind of like this princess, they will try to pick out flaws. So these are the types of women where they view every little thing as a competition. The clothes you wear are a competition. Your shoes, your bag, your job, your hairstyle, your makeup, everything that you do is some sort of invisible competition. This is a sign that that woman is insecure about her femininity. Another thing I've noticed is the type of women who brag about men wanting them, or kind of bragging about, oh, the white man prefers me, or bragging about their hypergamous escapades and stuff like that, and kind of saying, oh, I got more attention than my friend who was light-skinned. I got more attention than my friends who were skinnier than me. I get more attention than all of the other women. I'm sleeping with this guy. So these women who they are constantly like bringing up men, or randomly bringing up the male gaze, or they're like making it a big deal that they got attention or that a guy hits on them, these women are usually insecure in their femininity. And think about it. Why is it that out of all of the people she decides to tell who she's sleeping with and stuff, why is she telling you? There's a reason that women do that. It's because she is comparing herself to you. She's comparing her femininity to yours. And some women have a male-centered view of femininity. So they feel like the more men you sleep with, or the more that men like you, it means that you're more feminine than somebody else. And so they view femininity as this competition. So that's why you have these women who will randomly bring up to you, oh yeah, so-and-so guy, he asked for my number and he was giving me attention. I've actually had this happen to me before, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have had this happen too, where your friends will randomly try to bring up that like guys hit on them. It's almost as if they're trying to prove their worthiness. They are trying to prove their desirability. And so that's why they're saying that. The next one, according to ChatGPT, is excessive makeup or fashion. So these are the people who don't use it as a beauty enhancement. Anytime you're doing makeup, wigs, weaves, it's supposed to enhance what's already there. So like it's supposed to enhance your natural hair texture or enhance your natural bone structure. But for some women, it's not a beauty enhancement. It is a beauty replacement. There are women out there who are so insecure with their femininity to the point where they literally feel like they look like a man if they don't have on the makeup, or if they don't have on all of the overstated jewelry, the overstated clothes, these super loud colors. And so this is where you get the women who have that mindset of using beauty replacements. So instead of a beauty enhancement, they are literally replacing their own beauty. So these are the types of women where they are wearing hairstyles to where it's ripping out their natural hair, or, you know, they're putting on so much makeup to where it's causing them acne, but they don't care. They just keep piling it on. Or they're wearing these lashes to where their natural lashes have all fallen out now, or, you know, they get infections in their eyes turn all red and stuff because of the lash glue, but they don't care. That's a sign of being insecure in your femininity. It's excessive makeup and fashion to the point where you're actually hurting yourself just so you can have a chance at being feminine because you don't view yourself as being effortlessly feminine. I've noticed that feminine privilege is really like being perceived as effortlessly feminine, or kind of naturally not having any insecurities in that area. But there are women that have an inferiority complex in terms of femininity. And so these are the types of women who will have a panic attack if they don't have all of their glam makeup on that morning, or, these are the women who maybe they can't be seen in public if they don't have all the bells and whistles. So at that point, I would say it's more of a beauty replacement as opposed to a beauty enhancement. And I know that there are some women who just like the glam makeup look, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the women who have an inferiority complex based on things like makeup and hair. The next one is seeking external validation. So the women who are insecure in this area, they are always needing approval. They always need other people to affirm their femininity. And so, like I said, these are usually the women who are the most male-centered because they feel like the main way to affirm their femininity is by attracting the male gaze. And so these are the types of women that will desperately chase after men, or, they're jumping through all of these hoops in an attempt to attract a man. Or maybe they're the type of friend where, let's say you liked a guy or he's your ex or something, then suddenly she wants to go to get with your ex. She wants to go and get with a man that she knows is attracted to you because she views it as a form of validation. She feels like she is affirming her femininity by having something that you once valued. Even if you no longer value that guy, even if you've decentered men at this point, there are some women who literally view you as their internalized standard for femininity. And so that's where you get these women who they're chasing after your exes, or they're like following your exes on social media and stuff like that. They're liking his pics and shit, or like trying to DM him and all that. It's because they're trying to get validation for their femininity. Another one of the common ways that you can tell if a woman is insecure in this area is she has discomfort when it comes to her feminine traits. So these are the women who feel uncomfortable with expressing traditional femininity. So for example, these are the women who say things like, I hate pink, I hate bright colors, why are you wearing those colors, why you got on makeup? These are the types of women who they don't feel comfortable in their own femininity, so then they get mad when you express yours. So for example, let's say you're going out to brunch, you're going out to a picnic or something, and you have on a little bit of makeup, you did your little soft glam or whatever, and then you get questioned. She's questioning you, why are you wearing makeup? Oh, we're just going to lunch. Why are you wearing makeup when we're walking at the park? Why do you have to put on lip gloss? So she feels uncomfortable in her femininity, and so that's why she is uncomfortable with your femininity, because she puts restrictions on herself. She's not allowed to wear lip gloss when she works out. She's not allowed to look cute at the grocery store. She can only wear sweatshirts and, a wet bun or something like that to the grocery store. But if you have a lot of freedom when it comes to expressing your femininity, this makes insecure women uncomfortable. These are the women at work who are like, oh, what are you getting all dressed up for? Oh, this is not a fashion show. Why are you so dressed up? Why are you wearing high heels in the office? That's uncomfortable. They're saying that because they're uncomfortable expressing their own version of femininity. And so this is why they feel uncomfortable with yours, because you are reminding them of their own limitations. You're reminding them that they're not confident enough to wear red lipstick. You're reminding them that they're not confident enough to wear bright colors. You're reminding them that they have a fear of being seen. Because in order to really be expressive in your femininity, you have to overcome the fear of being seen. You have to overcome the fear of your own beauty. But for the women who are still scared of their own beauty, they don't feel comfortable being feminine, they're going to get upset when you start being feminine. And sometimes they'll even use these phrases like, oh, you're doing too much, or you're trying to show out, you're showing off, you're trying to outdress me. And it's like, you didn't even view it as a competition. But for the women who are insecure with their femininity, they get very threatened when you start to express yours, and especially if you express your femininity in a different way. So for example, let's say you wear flowers in your hair, or maybe you have like 4C hair and you wear your natural hair, and then that woman, she has a very narrow view of femininity. So then she gets mad because she feels like you're expressing femininity in the wrong way. So she may make a comment about your hair texture, or say that like, oh, that looks tacky, that doesn't match. The femininity police, yeah, these are actually the women who are very insecure with their own femininity. That's why they're constantly policing yours. Another way that you can tell when a woman is insecure with her femininity is comparing herself to others. So these are the women who compare themselves unfavorably to other women. Usually they are focusing on physical appearance, they're focusing on societal standards of femininity. These are the types of women who complain about beauty standards. They complain about other women showing off or whatever, or they may accuse you of being some sort of Jezebel or being a pick-me because you're wearing a dress that shows off your body shape. You're wearing some red lipstick, so you're trying to get attention. These are the types of women who are very insecure with their femininity because they're comparing their femininity to your femininity. So once again, they have a scarcity mindset when it comes to being feminine. There are some women who literally, they have such a scarcity mindset and they have so many limiting beliefs to the point where they don't believe that two women can be feminine at the same time. They think that everything's a competition, so they think femininity is yet another competition. So the women who are hyper competitive, they constantly complain when they feel like they're losing the competition. So these are the types of women who might make snide remarks about how, oh, getting your hair done, that's too expensive. Or I don't have time to do my makeup in the morning. Oh, I don't have time to go to the spa. That just sounds like too much effort. So they complain about how it's too much effort, it's too expensive, they don't fit into society's beauty standards, society views them as masculine. So once again, it's insecurity with your femininity because you're constantly focusing on how feminine everybody else is, and you're not focusing on your own inherently feminine traits or, expressing your own femininity in a unique way. The next sign is a defensive attitude. So any woman that gets extremely defensive when you're talking about things like maybe femininity or masculinity, or I don't know, like wanting to express your femininity. These types of women, they get very defensive. They want to argue back and forth with you. They want to try to nitpick what feminine is and what it isn't. They believe that femininity is a monolith. You guys know that I don't like looking at things in a monolithic way. I think that there are different ways to express femininity. There's light femininity. In my opinion, there's light femininity, dark femininity. You can express yourself with traditional femininity. There's femininity privilege that is based on maybe like your background or how much you know about things like feminine hygiene, feminine energy, being able to attract what you want, kind of being seductive, that sort of thing. But the women who have this defensive attitude, or they feel like, it's their way or the highway, like they are the queen of being able to determine or examine whether or not you're feminine, this is actually a sign of a woman who is insecure with her femininity because she will get mad if you express femininity in a different way. I've even seen some religious women, they will call it witchcraft, or they will call you a Jezebel if you like crystals, or if you, I don't know, if you're kind of like one of those bohemian types. Some traditional conservative women, they will literally demonize you because they don't like how you're expressing your femininity. You're not allowed to express your femininity that way. Or if you're very sexy, if you have a big booty and you have boobies and or maybe you're plus size or something, I don't know, and you kind of show off your body and you kind of flaunt your sexuality, and that's a part of how you express your femininity. Oh yeah, you're really going to piss off the women who don't like that type of femininity. So the women who are insecure about maybe seductive femininity, or they don't like that, like it goes against their religious beliefs or something, then they're really going to get pissed. Another sign of insecurity in this area is having a lack of self-confidence. So these are the women who have kind of the low self-esteem. They have doubts and they have questions about their own attractiveness, or maybe they don't feel worthy. They don't have a lot of self-worth, or they have doubts about their own abilities as a woman. They don't understand their internal power. They don't know what makes them beautiful. They don't know what qualities make them beautiful on the inside and outside. They don't know what their unique feminine fingerprint is. Ooh, I just made that up. Feminine fingerprint. What is your feminine fingerprint? That's actually a good question. What is unique about the way you express your femininity? I know that, like, for me, I love to wear bright colors. I love to wear pink. I love to wear lip gloss. I always like to have on just a little bit of soft glam makeup, something cute like that. Maybe like an effortless hairstyle where I'm blending in my curly hair with like some sort of curly extensions or something. That's a part of how I express my femininity. But for the women who lack confidence, if you were to ask them like, hey, how do you express your femininity? They can't give you an answer, or they will try to be a carbon copy of somebody else, or they will like look at someone else as their feminine icon, and they don't know how to be their own muse. They don't know how to be their own version of a feminine icon. So they will constantly try to live vicariously through women like Lori Harvey. They'll try to live vicariously through IG models or whoever because they don't have their own feminine identity, or they might try to nitpick you and kind of live vicariously through you. A lot of mothers actually do this with their daughters. They will like police your makeup, they'll police your hair, they'll police your clothes. And this has to do with not allowing the child to have their own independent identity. And I've noticed this actually happens with a lot of toxic mothers, where once their daughter starts to express independence, then the mother loses all interest in her daughter. A lot of parents do this, lots of toxic parents, they lose all interest in their children once their children have a different opinion than them. Once the child starts kind of going their own way and developing their own thoughts and their own identity, then the parent loses interest. This actually happens with women and with their mothers. Sometimes your mother has an idea of what kind of femininity she wants you to exude. So let's say you're LGBT, let's say you're like a lesbian or something, like some sort of feminine lesbian, and your mother is not into that and she doesn't believe in that. Sometimes mothers will actually shun their daughters, or they will like get mad, or they will try to scold them and stuff, because that's not the way that they wanted you to express your femininity. But what do you ladies think? Have you ever come across these women who are insecure and maybe they feel like they are masculine, and so for that reason they get pissed off at anything feminine? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.